your thoughts on the state of emergency in Rivers State.
I made that public a long time. I've said to you that the president was not right. In fact, if there's anything I'm disappointed at okay, he was my lawyer, so no need to talk about him. Because you can say I'm a young lawyer, but that constitution does not give the president the power to suspend any governor. What it just means that if tomorrow anybody becomes president, can wake up and close and arise. No, you must go by the law. That's why it's called the rule of law.
But how come that is being allowed to? I mean, all of you, you're all very significant.
You and I are the problem of the country.
Yeah, but you're not the president. You're from Rivers State.
Yes.
You're a former governor.
What makes you think
you've got a lot of political pedigree?
What's your son in Nogolu, right?
Yes.
Anambra.
No, Enugu.
What makes you think it can't happen in Enugu?
Well, it hasn't happened.
Yeah,
it's happened in Rivers.
It hasn't happened in Enugu because I'm sure the government must be scared, so he's towing the line. Why do that?
No, but what I'm saying is, what do you?
Did you observe what happened in South Korea?
But what?
This evening I was watching.
Yes.
This evening I was watching.
I mean, they're holding the elections.
This evening I was watching. What's it called? I was watching Al Jazeera, and they were showing me resistance in Bangladesh. How the prime minister, is it Hisani, also was removed in Bangladesh by the people. But you're even afraid to go out. You shoot knock at you and I really jump out.
Why are you taking aim at me? I don't understand. You're the one who's from Rivers State. It's your state. You're a fellow governor. Let me repeat what I said. And you're sitting there and you're not doing anything about it. And you're turning to me. I don't understand.
Let me repeat what I said when I was a governor. When this militancy started, and they felt, it was Rivers State. And I said, be careful. This militancy could be found in every part of the country because it has to do with poverty. You know, when people ask me, and that will be the last thing I will discuss with you. When people ask me, why did you choose the topic weaponization of poverty? I say, indeed, one problem everybody has, that nobody has bothered to listen. Nobody said it's only this government that is weaponizing poverty. No, it's been, and that's why I go with Erufai, who said are politicians that bright to weaponize poverty. It's unintended. As they are stealing money, they don't know that the more they stole the money from the people, the more they impoverish the people. That's when they are weaponizing poverty. But if they don't steal money and that money is deployed, like I asked the question, okay, the president removed subsidy. Where is the money? The president removed the subsidy on oil, subsidy on electricity. Where is the money?
Well, the president says, and I'm not a spokesman for him, but he says a lot of that money has been given to the states. A lot of that money have gone towards the education fund and things like that.
And we're not feeling it.
Well, I mean, there are students who are getting funding. Let's face it. They're talking about hundreds of thousands.
Okay, so I want to see them because you would have felt it by now. And let me tell you, it got a point where oil subsidy. Oil subsidy got to 8 trillion naira. If you deploy 8 trillion naira into this economy now, it will feel the impact. Even I say it will feel the impact. Let me also tell you, do we need the coastal road in that manner that it was awarded? Yes, the South needs the road, but fix the East-West road.
Yeah, people have said that, in fairness. One final question.
Because at that point, I don't know how many trillions, depending on who you see. Some say it's 33 trillion, some say whatever trillion it is. If you deploy that money to the economy, it will change our lives. Who is collecting that money? The president needs to tell us.
That's a valid question. Finally, which ethnic group do you belong to?
I'm an Ikwereman.
What does that mean? I mean, there are people who say that if you talk to some Ikwere people, they'll say they are Igbo. If you talk to others, like some Wiki, they'll say they are not. And at different times, you have said you're Igbo. And
don't bring that controversy. Don't bring that controversy. I don't know why you want to go into that controversy.
Well, because it's interesting to know what your position is on that.
No, it's not. Why is it not? Okay. You are first and foremost an Ikwere man before you can be an Igbo man. So if you ask an Ikwere man, who are you? You say, I'm an Ikwere man. So what you can say is an Ikwere man and an Igbo man. There are those who have divergent views. Majorities will say no. In all honesty, majority will say no. There is a very tiny minority which includes me. And why do I take that position? It's political. And when I say political, it's not to win the votes of the Igbos. I didn't like the way the Igbos were being treated at a particular point in time. In protest against that treatment against the Igbos, I began to wear, what's it called? The tiger head,
traditional
clothes with the red cap, in protest, asking Nigeria to address their problem. Again, I made it public that I'm an Igbo man in protest.
But not in fact.
It doesn't make me, whether I'm an Igbo man or not, is immaterial at this point in time. Again, I also argue with my brothers in the Ikwereman community. Our cultures are similar.
Right.
Our language is also similar.
Okay.
The kind of food we eat, the same. So why would you deny not being an Igbo man.
Okay. On that note, I want to thank you very much indeed, and to you've been very good to us by turning up as you said you would. Chibuike Rotimi Amaechi is a two-term former governor of Rivers State and former Minister of Transport. Thank you very much indeed.
So guys, the former governor of Rivers State granted an interview session on Arise Television, talking about how he became governor, who helped him to become governor, and what he achieved as governor. I'm going to allow you to take a look at all what he said, which many people have applauded him, and some people criticizing him that he's one of the problems of Nigeria, being one of those who brought Buhari to power. And also, Peter Obi is out of the coalition talk that has been happening between Atiku, El-Rufai, and Amaechi. Peter Obi is no more among them, because from information getting to us, they said Peter Obi is not liking their terms and conditions. We all know that obedience are saying it is, if it's not Peter Obi, then it won't be anybody. And we know that Peter Obi has this high followership, Obedience are ready to replicate what they did in the last election. They saw Peter Obi winning, and they resorted to glitches. But guess what? Even this time, Peter Obi is gaining more grounds. Like in the north, people are embracing him the more. So Peter Obi does not have anything to worry about when it comes to winning this election. As Tinubu loses more grounds, Tinubu is only using force to force people into the APC. But out of achievement, Nigerians know that Tinubu's government is a colossal failure. And nobody is ready to vote for Tinubu if not by rigging, vote buying, and INEC being used as instrument. But if elections are going to be happening, in a normal way, guess what? Tinubu cannot come close to winning this election because he has failed the people. Now I'm going to allow you to take a look at what the former governor of Rivers State said during this interview session. Now take a look.
I like that big sigh coming from you.
Yes.
I mean, you've just turned 60. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Much of that time has been consumed by your involvement in Nigerian politics. With age and experience, does it get easier?
Let's lay the ground rules. I accepted to participate in this interview because we said we will not discuss politics. There are only three political issues I will clear right away before we proceed to social issues. The first one is that nobody made me governor. God, Dr. Peter Odili, and the Nigerian judiciary. Nobody. And as journalists, nobody has ever asked that man that says he made governor, how did you make this man governor?
Right.
Nobody has ever asked that question. Two,
so how did you become governor then?
I don't know. I went to court. Lateef Fagbemi is my lawyer. He's not the Attorney General, so you should ask. So that's one thing that needs to be made very, very clear. Two, it is not true that I'll call him Mohammed Bello Adoke flew all the way from Abuja to Port Harcourt. That Wike asked me to make him commissioner for finance, and I said no. He has to work under me. I want him as chief of staff so I can supervise him. I didn't offer him commissioner for finance. You see, I'm saying this because I don't want to join issues with children.
Sure.
I don't want to join issues with children. Now we're finished with political questions. Can you go to social questions?
Yeah, but the questions lead to other questions.
No, I told you we will discuss.
Because when you say you wanted you to watch over him, what does that mean?
Governor supervising his staff.
Because you felt he was a bit of a sort of renegade.
No, I don't want to discuss that. I don't want to discuss politics. I've told you here that it's the governor supervising.
I will respect that.
Governor supervising his staff.
And we appreciate the fact that you took the time.
He made himself chief of staff. He made himself governor. He made himself minister. He made himself local government chairman. So end it there. Don't go further. Discuss my sister's birthday. Let's move forward.
Okay. Let's move forward. But as I said, these things might be touched on peripherally. Do you have satisfaction at what you've achieved at the age of 60? Do you think that you've become a man of substance?
Every time I speak, I seem to want to first thank God, then I thank Dr. Peter Odili for the role he played in my life, him and his wife, and I continue to say to people and to my wife and my children that I will never go against them, no matter what they do to me. Have they done a lot to me? They have done so many things that you will want to scream. But then you have to hold back yourself and say to yourself, God used this man.
When you say they, you mean including Dr. Odili?
Dr. Odili and his wife. I'm not the...
Right, and his wife.
They had said no, if he wasn't there,
right,
God used him. So you must respect God by respecting them. So now, when you look at your achievement and you have said this, then the rest will be hard work. And again, you see, I want to say this again, it's political. The current chairman of INEC, if he was the chairman of INEC in 2015, would not have won.
That's an important point.
May God bless Jega.
It's a very interesting point.
Because the ground rules were clear. The current chairman of INEC can only be compared to you. Honestly.
But obviously,
have you seen a man who, when we were to register APC, Jega opened the door, and once we comply with the registration requirement, he got APC registered. The current man, if like comply with all this, he will not register you. Already INEC is biased, working. But again, don't take me to politics. Can we please discuss?
Right. But I mean, as I said, when you raise certain points, they lead to, other questions.
You know what I told you people? That if you go political, I will do like our former president. I remove the microphone.
Okay. Well, we don't want you to remove the microphone.
Okay,
but you must be proud that you've accomplished so much in your life, certainly more than most people.
Well, it's not because I'm the best. I had the opportunity, I utilized the opportunity. So when the opportunity came for me to be the Speaker of the Parliament, Dr. Odili and I spoke. He felt it was important I became the Speaker. Okay, I utilized the opportunity and I became the Speaker. The problem is not when you get the opportunity. The problem is what do you do with the opportunity? And God knows that I was one of the best speakers that this country had produced at that material time. I don't know what's happening now. Maybe there are better speakers than I was. But at that time, nobody would deny me the fact that I performed my duty as Speaker, that I was elected to become the chairman of the Speakers Forum. Since I left as chairman of Speakers Forum, I wonder if that Speakers Forum is still in existence. Okay, so again, I became governor by the grace of God, by the grace of Dr. Peter Odili too, and the people of Nigeria, Rivers State, and the judiciary, because it was at the end of the day, the judiciary pronounced me governor. Now, when I was then sworn to the office of the governor, you will ask the question, did you perform? Of course I did.
Well, you would say you performed, wouldn't you? I mean, you're not going to say you didn't perform. I mean, nobody would say
I'm prepared to ask you to open your phone and call people from River State. 12 people are building flyovers here and making noise. I built 5, 6 flyovers, 6. I built, they are there. And I didn't make noise. I didn't call president to come and commission. I didn't make noise. I built primary schools. Let any other governor who has built primary schools come forward in River State. I built secondary schools that people were calling universities. Two children per room. Two children per room in those schools. And I got an agency in India to come and manage those schools. So they brought science teachers from India and arts teachers from Nigeria.
And what's happened to them now?
Abandoned, vandalized.
That must break your heart.
No, that's why I don't go to River State, because it gives you mental disorder. Now, within that period, we tried to build a new city. We had finished with 24-hour power supply. It was abandoned and vandalized. So I'm not one that, you see, don't give me an assignment, I will deliver. Okay, let's go to ministerial appointment. I began and completed the railway from Lagos to Ibadan. I began and completed the Lekki Deep Sea Port. Completed from beginning. And got it completed by the time I left office. Go to Kanu. That's an inland dry port in Kanu that I completed. And I told the owner of the inland dry port, you must build a primary and secondary school here to enable these children that run after us when we come, go to school free of charge. And he did that. I commenced the construction of Kano Kaduna. I completed Kaduna to Abuja, which was started by President Goodluck Jonathan. I started the Kano Maradi Railway, and it's going on. So don't give me an assignment because I will discharge it responsibly. I won't go about abusing people, talking. Maturity. Let me tell you what my second son tells me. We usually have conversations as a family. If you make do something that, because currently the current politicians are not ashamed. They at all. They don't bother by their name. They don't bother by their character. Now, if you do anything that is wrong, my second son will tell me, Dad, you're not the only Amaechi. I am too. So
that's a good point.
Yeah, if you do something that rubs off on the name Amaechi, then it affects all of us.
Absolutely.
But if you do something against your Rotimi, I don't mind that. But unfortunately, you are not just Rotimi. You are Rotimi, Amaechi, and there are so many of us who bear the name.
That's a very, you got a wise kid.
Oh, not just him. So for that reason, every member of my family is taught how to behave so that I don't mess up the name Amaechi.
And of course, you are preeminent.
Most people don't care about their name. They don't care about their character. I wonder whether they don't think their children should be ashamed of themselves.
And as you reflect on that time span of 60 years, I mean, I wonder if you reflect on the way that you have changed, as well as the way Nigeria, the country you grew up in, has also changed.
A lot of things have changed in the country. Have I changed?
Good or bad?
Are we moving from bad to worse in some areas? But it's as you're taking me to politics. I won't go into politics.
No. We're not talking politics. No. We're talking about your time as a person.
When I'm ready to go into
your assessment.
No. I don't know. When I'm ready for political conversation, I will have it, and it won't be Charles. Charles, it won't be you.
No, but why not?
Let me tell you why it won't be you. It will be between Sheon, who's been my friend a long time ago, more than, I don't know whether Sheon is up to 10 to 20 years, and my friends in your morning program. Right. Because they've been putting that pressure. You've never put any pressure, but they've been putting that pressure on me, and I've been avoiding them. I don't know why this guy called me today and I said, okay, I'm willing to do that.
Well, I'm glad you did. So at least we've got 50, and the girl is Rita Osakwe, who's the producer of this program.
Okay.
But I mean, the point really is that it's not a political question. It's a question for you as an individual who's turned 60, and you're looking at the way that you have evolved and looking at the way that this country has evolved in that time that you turned 60.
So the only thing I can tell you now is that looking at the way Nigerian had run election, even though as crude as option A4 was under Babangida, it led us forward. At least a lot of transparency. You were sure of what was going on. Then we came back to meet people like Iwu and others and the current one, and things got worse. So you don't know whether to say we are progressing or we are
regressing.
So guys, you have seen it for yourself. So honestly, what we have in this country is, politicians that don't really want to serve the people. Because left for me, I'm just wondering why, they called Peter Obi into a coalition. And for them, they want to use Peter Obi as a vice. Atiku wants to run at all costs, Peter Obi should become the vice, which is not going all well. So Peter Obi is out of that coalition, which myself have applauded, because tomorrow they will tell you it was them who made Peter Obi president. It is them, and they will begin to give him all kinds of conditions. So if Peter Obi organically gets the presidency, I think it will be a win-win for him, for every Nigerian. But if these people now come in that they want to support Peter Obi, and tomorrow Peter Obi becomes president, even without much of their contribution, they will want to demand heaven on earth, which we will not want. These are some of the things we are trying to avoid, These are the things we are trying to avoid. So I don't know what you make. I don't know what you make of this. You must have heard that Peter Obi is out of this coalition. For me, it's better. So obedience will fully be in charge of his victory. So I don't really think it's anything to worry about if Peter Obi is no more in that coalition. Because what they just want is to make sure Peter Obi comes in as a vice to Atiku, which is not what Nigerians want today. I'm just wondering who else can be better off than Peter Obi. I'm just wondering that. I'm just wondering who else can be better than Peter Obi. So I don't think we should support this kind of a thing happening in Nigeria today. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others, and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.